Yo, what's cracking everyone? Eric Ship 111 here. So, the new Rally Adventure expansion for Forza Horizon 5 is out today. And yes, I did get a chance to play this DLC early, thanks to the guys over at Turn 10 and Playground Games. Now, for those who have been subscribed to my channel for quite some time now, will know that I am critical and vocal about the Forza Horizon series. If things are bad, I'm going to say they are bad. If they are good, then I will have no problem voicing that either. Now, with the Rally Adventure expansion, I will admit, when this expansion first announced, I was not convinced at all. This is essentially another rehash of an older expansion we got in 2012 with the Forza Horizon Rally. However, after getting a chance to play through the entire Rally Adventure, I'm happy to say that Playground Games did prove me wrong. This DLC is certainly one of the better expansions Playground Games has released in recent years, but just like everything in life, nothing is perfect, and the same goes here. So in today's video, I'll be reviewing all of the most important elements along with some of my additional thoughts on Forza Horizon 5's Rally Adventure expansion. Starting off with number 1, the map. Now, I will admit, after watching the initial trailer reveal along with the screenshots Playground Games first released, I was thinking to myself, how is this expansion 2 map any different to what we already have on the main map of Horizon 5? All of the biomes, landscapes, foliage, I mean, it all looked far too familiar. Not only that, when the developers first revealed some additional gameplay of the Rally Adventure expansion in a Let's Go livestream, they were taking cars across the sand dunes, and the races that they were doing, other than the fact that it was in a rally format, the tracks didn't seem all that unique. However, after getting a chance to go through all of the races and explore the whole of Sierra Nueva, it is far from what I had initially thought. I gotta admit, this map is excellent. The road layout is very fun to drive on, but it can also be quite challenging at times too, which is something that the main map of Horizon 5 lacks. There's a huge amount of different elevations, which not only makes the map feel larger even though the map itself is rather small, but it also allows players to subconsciously engage more with the roads that has been laid out, because one of the problems on the main map of Horizon 5 is that it's just far too flat. Between each road layout, a lot of the times you can probably see what is directly in front of you, and if there's just an empty field in between, look, I'm just gonna cut right through it. But in Sierra Nueva, in many areas, you can't even see the road next to you because of what's in between. Now, don't get me wrong, if you still want to cut across between some of the roads, you are most certainly welcome, but it will be much harder. However, if you do make it, it is also a lot more satisfying too. Now, is there anything bad I will say about this map? Perhaps I would love to have seen the map size a little bigger. There's actually not that many roads to discover. However, because the roads are so twisty and challenging, every time you drive any of these roads in a different vehicle, it almost feels like an entire new experience. So I guess I can kind of overlook the size issue, but a takeaway here is Playground Games, for your next Horizon title, do not design your map with the Eliminator as the main focus. This expansion 2 map proves that you guys still have it. I mean, this expansion map really reminded me of the older Horizon titles, where the map may not be the biggest, but somehow feels a lot bigger than what it actually is, with many different areas to discover. Honestly, if the developers took this map and expanded upon it with additional features like a main highway, stadium, several other towns, and a city, while keeping the same ethos, it could have easily been the actual main map for Horizon 5 Mexico, and I think majority of the Horizon community would be happy with it. That's how good I think this map actually is. Number 2, the story campaign. Now, I don't want to give away too much or spoil anything, but the story here is pretty easy to follow. For anyone who has played the Hot Wheels expansion, it's quite similar but just laid out slightly different. However, unlike the Hot Wheels expansion though, you are not bounded to a low class car in the beginning, and you don't have to build your way up to a higher car class by completing different races and challenges. Here in the Rally Adventure, after your inaugural races, you will be asked to choose which team or races you want to compete in first. For me, I started with the Grit Reaper because rallying at night with the possibility of severe weather conditions sounded quite exciting, and not only that, you also get a helicopter with a spotlight following you too. The other two teams, which are Apex Predators, which is essentially road rallying, and Horizon Raptors, where everything is off-road. Now, throughout the campaign, you will eventually unlock all three teams and all of the races, and each of these teams have a total of 9 different levels you must go through in order to unlock the huge final race at the end. And each of these levels have different challenges you must complete. Many of the new cars included in this expansion is unlocked through here, and yeah, overall, the structure of the campaign is quite simple, and it's really no different to most of the Horizon expansions that has ever been released. Number 3, the rallying or racing. So before you start any campaign races in Sierra Nueva, you have a choice. You can either choose Horizon Rally or Horizon Race. Now, Horizon Race is pretty much the normal races we are familiar with in Horizon 5, while Horizon Rally, which is the new style of racing that's featured in this expansion, you are racing against the clock. But not only that, you also get a co-driver reading out pace notes for the track you are on. Now, if you want the full rally adventure experience, I would highly recommend choosing Horizon Rally for all of your races, and turn off the rally line too. I can tell you this, it's been quite some time since I've enjoyed a difficult challenge in a Horizon game. And I'm not talking about racing against unbeatable drivatars, because yes, that is difficult, but there's also an element of unpredictability too, which can be quite frustrating at times. But racing against the track itself, you have no one to blame but yourself should anything go wrong. Here, good drivers thrive, and bad drivers will either fall behind or be forced to get better. Now, although I did mention that for the campaign story, I initially chose Grit Reaper. Now, don't get me wrong, all of the races in the Grit Reaper events were incredible, they were very challenging, but where I found to enjoy most of my actual races was the Apex Predator, the road rallying, because the way Playground Games have designed these tarmac roads, they aren't exactly flat. There's slight crests and bumps which at times can throw you off, especially when you are about to enter a braking zone. Not only that, racing on tarmac around some very twisty roads is an experience that you can't get from the main map of Horizon 5. And there's also nothing more satisfying than ripping the e-brake through a hairpin. To top everything off, with Horizon 5 now featuring anti-lag and launch control, racing on Sierra Nueva has never been more appropriate. Also, I want to mention that I did try a typical Horizon race on some of the tracks, and personally, I didn't enjoy it. Some of the roads are just too narrow to have so many cars all at once, and it was very hard to actually get a clean race. But with how the map and road has been laid out, it certainly complements the rally style of racing. Overall, I am impressed, and it's good to finally see that Horizon 5 will actually now force players to be more calculative and strategic in their driving style if they want to be fast. Number 4, the cars. Now, so far my review of the Rally Adventure has been quite positive, but if there was one area that I think Playground Games could have improved upon, is most certainly the selection of cars. So there are a total of 10 new vehicles in this expansion. One is a purebred rally car, the second is a new electric pickup truck, and then the rest are either off-roading vehicles or trophy trucks, which doesn't make any sense to me given that a third of this expansion is dedicated to asphalt racing, where it requires a vehicle that is agile and nimble. So then why is majority of the new cars in this expansion these heavy off-roading vehicles? Throughout my time playing this expansion, I barely even used any of these buggies in the races because they just weren't the appropriate cars. Many of these off-road buggies that Playground Games chose are more suitable for the main map of Horizon 5, more so than Sierra Nueva itself. I believe a more diverse group of cars could have been a far better option, whether it's another purebred rally car or even production cars which have a rich rallying heritage, to even possible homologation vehicles. Just cars that the masses will enjoy, whereas the trophy trucks and the Baja buggies, although we do appreciate them, I believe only a small portion of the entire Horizon fanbase are truly happy to see them included. So other than the cars, which were a bit of a letdown, Rally Adventure is by far one of the best Horizon expansions I have played in years. But the question I ask myself is this expansion only this good because the main game of Horizon 5 is rather bland? Therefore, my excitement for this has been heightened. What if Horizon 5 featured an incredible map in its base game already? Will I view this DLC differently? I don't know, but what I do know is that one, the formula that the developers have used here with the map design should definitely carry over to the development of Forza Horizon 6. Also, I believe if Playground Games wanted to, they can make a very good rally game on its own. Then, of course, with the inclusion of anti-lag and launch control, along with additional rally customizations available for many vehicles in Horizon 5, even though they are generic modifications, it does add an additional layer to the overall experience that makes it more enjoyable. And lastly, I know for several months now I have been very critical about Horizon 5, but Playground Games did manage to produce an excellent and enjoyable expansion this time round, and unlike the Hot Wheels DLC, I think this will have a much more longevity as there's no gimmicks, no silly collaborations, just pure awesome driving roads to drive. Hopefully this can be a turning point for the series. But anyways, if you guys did find this video interesting or helpful, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button as it really does help me out. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with everything Forza Horizon 5 related, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace.